A cradle for civilizations for centuries, Anatolia brings the most remarkable examples of beauty, aesthetics and functionality from the first ages until today. The history and the cultural process that developed and proceeded from the Stone Age to the Metal Age, from the Hittites to the Phrygians, from the Lydians, from the Ionians to the Assyrians. The struggle against nature in each step, the effort to conquer and shape nature. To develop and change, and more importantly, to develop our means of change. A handful of intellectuals, patriots, far-sighted engineers and architects who have in their heart the consciousness of being a non-governmental organization roll up their sleeves in order to keep pace with the beat of modern life. On April the 25th, 1980, the Association of Turkish Consulting Engineers and Architects was established in Ankara, in the heart of Turkey. Technical consultancy services at the international arena are defined as the technology-based intellectual services on natural or built environment. The engineers or engineering companies who provide these services are called technical consultants. The consultancy engineering industry remains primarily responsible for the planning, design, delivery and maintenance of the world's infrastructure and built environment. This makes the sector a critical player at a time when the world faces an ever-increasing demand for food, water, sanitation, shelter, health services, transportation and energy. And as approved by the World Bank, no country in the world has become developed in advance of its engineering expertise. Engineering means development. It means to reach the light and to be able to say, we are among the independent, developed nations of the world. The technical consultancy services have been created to realize a production which gets along well with the environment and is economically sustainable where no societal interests are ignored. Educational facilities, housing, health facilities, business and shopping centers, sporting, entertainment, touristic facilities, industrial facilities, administrative buildings. Fossil fuels, renewable energy, petroleum, natural gas, water, solar energy, wind, biomass, thermal energy. Protection of natural resources, restoration, dangerous wastes, environmental projects, bridge, viaduct, tunnel, dam, harbour, airport, road, railway, pipelines, urban public transportation, military facilities, shelters, infrastructures, irrigation and similar services constitute the main activity areas of technical consultancy services. The Association of Turkish Consulting Engineers and Architects is the outcome of a restless effort right from the start of its establishment and the product of engineers and architects who look to the future with high expectations. The purpose is to widespread technical consultancy services in the country and to help full and accurate placement of the definitions of such services in relevant national legislation in parallel with international applications. The purpose is to create new job opportunities, to improve consultancy services, to introduce its members both in the country and abroad. To adjoin the local motives, rich styles, contemporary approaches with the global values and creation of scientific identity with Patience requires sacrifice, innovation, and a lot of hard work. The technical consultant is the representative and the right hand of its client. And when rendering consultancy services, the consultant has to work for the interests of the society and of the client. The consultant, during provision of consultancy services, has to be fully independent in decision-making and company financing. Consultants act for the legal interests of their clients. They do their jobs in the light of the latest technological developments, in line with the agreements they undersign and in accordance with the ethical rules without any concessions. A consultant's recommendations and decisions, in parallel with his or her education, knowledge and experience, should completely be impartial and independent. And the equivalence of the efforts of a consultant should be consisted of nothing else but the remuneration made by the client. The association members, which today have reached about 200, were accepted as members after meticulous investigations. In order for a candidate to be a member, he or she must have a minimum 10 years of background as an engineer or architect, and must also have had at least 5-year background as the owner or partner of an independent consultancy company or as a senior manager in such a company with a high degree of authorization. In 1987, the Association of Turkish Consulting Engineers and Architects was accepted as a member of the International Federation of Consulting Engineers, FIDIC for short, which was established in the year 1913 and has its headquarters in Switzerland. As of this date, members actively got involved in the proceedings of the Federation and were assigned at high levels. Through the continuing activities and assignments to date, technology and know-how transfer from the world is also being made without cease. The association organizes discussion panels, seminars, meetings, broadcasts, relevant publications in order to introduce the international rules and methods to the national authorities. When 2001 came in, right after when Turkey was welcomed as a candidate to the European Union, the association became a member of the European Federation of Engineering Consultancy Associations, EFCA for short. Members of ATSIA shouldered important duties also with EFCA as they had done in FIDIC. ATSIA, today being the only representative of FIDIC and EFCA in Turkey, works in cooperation with many countries' engineering associations when required. The members of the association provide consultancy services in different fields of professions and consultancy for the majority of the public and private investments of the country today. They also export the important number of design services to 35 foreign countries around the world, from Europe to Africa, from India to China, from the Turkish republics to Russia, and from the Middle East to the Balkans. ATSIA members supervise some important construction works in foreign countries as well. To create a common culture, to convey the exemplary regulations and applications of the developed world, to upgrade national legislation, to correct erroneous applications in the country, the association prepares and publicizes a lot of printed material, including journals, periodicals, guides, original books, translations of foreign books, as well as organizes trainings, seminars, discussion panels and conferences. It was the 1980s when the enthusiastic and hopeful targets were aimed to be achieved. Those targets are the projections of a determined start, of a long and hard way, of a prediction of a manager who wouldn't make concessions in principles. Those targets are the messengers of a well-organized struggle and the construction of tomorrow. Those targets are the footsteps of the contemporary technical consultancy, of the youth that will construct the tomorrow, and of those who have lost their heart to engineering architecture.